I'm Haley. I'm a mindful drinker and a brand designer.
I'm Laura. I'm booze free and a non alcoholic industry super connector, and we're in a dossier.
So excited. Today we're going to talk about Ghia. So I have the box right here. Last time I opened my Ghia, I drank it all immediately. So I had to not drink it so we could talk about brand.
Glad you
Wait,
saved it because I've already opened it and I've gone down like by about this much.
it'll be gone tomorrow. So starting with Ghia, beautiful. I mean, I've talked about this brand before. There's nothing wrong with Ghia. They're perfect. Logo, right? This logo type, beautiful. Opening the box and oh, look at there's a little touch point right here. Something to say. Let me read it to everybody.
Okay.
A record crackles as our protagonists slip off their shoes after a long day and starts tapping to the rhythm as they dance, walk, shimmy towards the bar cart and pop the.
Gosh, they know how to tell a good story.
Okay, that's a huge part of branding, right? When we're talking about design, especially with CPG brands. And I've noticed so many emerging brands don't tell a story like this. So, Gia, beautiful. We see over here, clear eye, high minded, from sunset to sunrise, of course, reiterating we're looking at an NA, right? Over the influence. I love that. That's kind of like their tagline that I've seen show up a lot at the top. Really looking at these postmodern shapes, super fun and playful. I think Ghia is so sophisticated. It's unbelievable how
Yeah.
sophisticated they are, yet so playful. And I love brands like that. Looking into their touch points, like these pieces of collateral, they're introducing the new bottle here. We know that the formula's changed slightly.
We'll talk about
It's
that in
like
a
this
little bit.
ribbon bottle. Just very nice. We're seeing like all these shapes, the color palette, super concise. Always telling that story of sophistication, yet play.
Mhm.
Love these stickers as well. I haven't
I
had these
know. I
before.
love the stickers. And then there were other stickers that it came with. And do you know what those are for? The other,
Oh, these. So it's fresh labels for your bottle. You just need a dry erase marker. I don't know what these are for, actually.
because I was like, wait,
Price was-
does it mean fresh or not fresh? Because, like, either way, I'm going to drink it. So why am I putting it on there?
is this so you can mark the date that you opened one of them? If you have two, or I don't know. Yeah, we would like some answers. You're beautiful and
Yeah.
perfect, but we're confused about these. Okay.
Yeah. Please tell us.
But the way the box opens, it's cardboard, but it's still just so nice. Pulling out the bottle, I know you're gonna have stuff to say about this, the bottle design as well. I mean, the best part about this is the top, right? That cap.
I
It's like
know.
like 1970s sophistication throwback.
You know what the bottle
Um,
reminds me of? It reminds me of a genie in a bottle. Like, it
um,
just has these genie vibes to it.
it adds so much to the design, truly having this. There's a little bit of gold foil on there too, which adds a nice touch. It's not overdone.
And I love that blue. Like, I love how it pops.
Yeah, the colors are so great. And then the back, I know this is just the nutrition facts, but really loving this like custom sort of feel. Like all of it just feels great. Feels high quality when you're holding it too.
Yeah.
But I would love to talk about the taste. I want you to tell me about this. I'm gonna open mine and
Well,
pour.
you come to the right place because I was a judge at the World Alcohol Free Awards. And
Oh,
so I've learned a little bit about how to sort of mindfully and intentionally taste something. So, um, one of the things that I enjoy doing first is tasting something neat. So that might just even be a before you put any tonic or anything in there. Maybe you want to just sip a tonic. That like
we could just take it. It's my
yeah, but you're
stuff.
gonna want to smell it first. What is the what's the aroma? I'm definitely getting like some orange, like blood orange, citrus notes. I
It's
think
a little like floral too. Is it?
think so. There's some like lemon balm. They've added some rhubarb this time. I feel like is there dandelion too? And then, well, you can just so with the old formula, I'll be honest, I was not able to do that just neat because it
Mm,
was so incredibly bitter. So now what we'll do, I'm an eyeballer. If people want to get proper and fancy, it says 1 ounce is the serving size, and then you can use the 1 ounce or 2 ounce pour that you can find like with a standard jigger. But I just eyeball. Maybe that was like 2 ounces, and then I'll top it off with some tonic. This is why they then created those RTDs so that people could have it with a mixer. So it was always sort of intended
right.
to be sipped with a mixer, whether it was tonic water, club soda, ginger ale. But this one I could have neat. I just know that if I did, there wouldn't be enough left in the bottle. So,
I know
so
I could drink it really fast.
let's
Cheers.
cheers. Clink. Mm, it's so good. And then we can talk about glassware too. I love some fancy glassware.
So I mixed mine with something not very sophisticated. It's a weird blue raspberry sparkling water. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It doesn't make me not want to drink it.
I have Q Mixer's light tonic. I love Q Mixers. My favorite tonic is Fever Tree Refreshingly Light, but Q Mixers is a great brand too. I've had Ghia with club soda that I make in my soda stream because I can get it really bubbly. I'm a huge fan of carbonation. But one of the things that I wanted to sort of talk about coming back to the taste, you taste with more than just your tongue. You taste with your nose, you taste with your eyes. So the color is so gorgeous. It just, if this was a brown or clear or something, it just wouldn't have the same effect. You're like, wow, this is beautiful. It's like a gemstone. And then
Right.
there's some like fruitiness. They've added rhubarb and they've taken some of the like initial bitterness away, but it's still very bitter. Like it's definitely an aperitif
Yeah.
and it feels so Mediterranean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could easily pair it with some, like, really beautiful food, but
Yes.
I just drank it because it's so
I
good.
love how you said I love how you said that you taste with your eyes because that brings us back to branding too. I mean, their color is it's all over their website and their social is this deep,
Like a ruby.
look like a good fruit. So yeah, I think it's like the whole package, right, is what makes this brand so great. And they've
Uh,
done studies where package design changes how you taste things. If this were in a different bottle, didn't have a label on it, I would taste it differently. It's just how it works.
1,000%, and that just reminds me of how different an experience it was for me when I was in London a couple months ago, tasting everything blindly, because for me and a lot of the work that I've been doing with Zero Proof Nation is getting to know the brands, getting to know the founders. The brand story for me is just as important as the quality of the liquid. So to strip away entire all of the things I knew about the founders, all of the beautiful like packaging elements, and just taste things blindly was
Yes.
a totally different experience. And I was surprised by some of the results that came out. I never knew what I tasted, honestly.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, when we're talking about selling these brands or having that's why people make these to sell them, you really do need that brand story. And the brand story, I talk about brand story a lot. It comes through with everything from photography to copy to label design. But it's not so much, hey, this is how the company came to be. It's more of pulling us into the story. So a story Gia's telling is I'm just gonna go put on my leather loafers and go seaside and drink and have some cheese on the side, and it's just like this that's the story they're telling is they're bringing you into something else. So, I think
Yeah.
it's important to recognize that as well. It's not so much, "Hey, we're founders and this is how we made the product." It's more of like, what story do we wanna tell? Going into their digital presence and their website and all of that, that really is brought to life, especially their Instagram. Looking at their imagery on Instagram, I'm just gonna pull it up and
Hashtag feels like Gia.
let's see. It just has this feeling, it feels fresh, it feels mod. But yeah, I just think of going see I mean, this I don't know who this is. This is the vibe. Oh my gosh, you can't even
Yeah.
see it. I've been
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my loafers and so bringing us into that story as well, it just comes through every aspect of the brand and the taste, I think.
Yeah. One of the very first things I did with my Ghia bottle once I was done with it, because I certainly was not going to throw away that gorgeous beauty, and I'm talking about the first one, is that I used it as a little flower vase. And I
Mm,
have bottles all over my apartment of different brands, some of which we might be highlighting in future episodes that I've sort of repurposed as flower vases because I just can't bear to part with them. They're so beautiful. And I can totally see this, but I mean, in terms of how this is applicable in the community in real life, this makes a gorgeous hostess gift or and can you even see the underneath the label? I can
oh,
see
yeah.
with the light, there's the
Yes.
light. I never noticed that until just now, but yeah, I think yeah, it has been around since I wanna say mid to late 2020. So they were definitely the first non-alcoholic aperitif that I remember, that I know of. And they've always been, like, super engaged with their community online, but also I think, like you were just demonstrating through their package, telling that story, making people feel like, "Oh, I am a Ghia drinker, like, I can get down with some cozy vibes, with some seaside Mediterranean beach vibes," and I think they just make it so elegant and cool to be in that non-alc space. Like, you don't drink? Well, it's not that you don't drink alcohol, but you do
Right.
drink. Yeah. So it's really sort of like exemplifying how it's aspirational. Ghia is
Mhm.
an aspirational vibe, liquid, bottle, brand, everything. And so it becomes really cool to be, as they say, clear eyed, clear eyed
Mhm.
at night, clear eyed in the morning. And I think it just really reinforces again the whole sober curious, mindful drinker, and sober serious
Mhm.
communities out there that want and deserve and need those inclusive options. And I think the new formula, they nailed, they just nailed it. It's so good. I want more, but these things are quite pricey. And we know why as well, because the
Right.
quality is impeccable. And it's not just like slapping a random liquid into a beautiful bottle. You've got the beautiful bottle, and then you've got the liquid that's like really intentionally made and crafted. And
I think this bottle was 38, and I did read somewhere that the founder was talking about keeping it approachable, like $38, which if you think about it, if you're buying, say this is a whiskey, it's gonna be that or more. So
right.
NA space is not it's not cheap to buy these things, but I think that you're not drinking them constantly every day. You're
Yeah.
taking it to a friend's house for a nice weekend or you're going to the park or something. I do want to comment on that eye underneath here.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but it is in the glass. There's an eye
Feel it.
underneath
Yeah.
the label, which I think is so special when designers and brand designers kind of create those little secrets.
Yeah.
It
Like,
brings
yeah.
so much excitement to the brand. So it's actually in the glass, right?
It's in the glass.
Yeah.
So I think what eventually, if you were to take the label off, then you would just have the glass bottle with the eye. But really don't want to take the label off ever because it's so
No.
it's just so
I know.
maybe with my first bottle, I'll leave it on. And with my second bottle, which I'll have to order soon, because look at that. It's already
Oh, yeah.
so perfumey. It looks like a perfume bottle.
That is
The
yeah.
prettiest bottle I've ever owned, to be honest. So well done, Gia. We love
Yeah.
you.
It was not an afterthought. One thing I love about the digital presence too, we talk a lot about brand. The brand needs to expand throughout everything, right? It needs to be concise and consistent across the package design to the bottle to the digital presence. The website's beautiful. You can see the shapes of the package design. I'll just cut out here. This is replicated throughout the website, of course. And I don't know if you've been on the website recently, but I love the recipes
Yes.
and the photography. So telling that story through the photography and there's sort of this misty, slightly blurred photos of the drinks. And I have never made one of the recipes on the website, but I would love to do that now that I have a new bottle because I don't have time, right? I just drink it all. I think they really do a good job of bringing it all the way through, right? They're not stopping at any point. They're bringing it through the Instagram, through to the website, through to the recipes, through to the photography. And that is what makes brands stand apart from each other.
I wholeheartedly agree and can't think of honestly a better brand to kick us off with our NA dossier because they nail every single element. They've got the taste. They've got sort of the community applicability. Like, this is great for dinner parties and the booze-free bar experience and fine dining and even just drinking a little bit at home. And then of course like their design, whether it's digital or the sort of physical tangible product. I mean, it's just they're amazing. And the founder, Melanie, is a really nice woman. She's really nice. She's French, I think. She's got like she's just so very Mediterranean. I love it.
One last comment too about Ghia is they have on Spotify playlists, and it's a good mix of some newish stuff, some really old stuff, and some just good vibes overall.
It makes sense mixing music because it's a sensory experience. And I don't know if you knew this, but I did have a somewhat short-lived podcast with another co-host where we talked about non-alc beverages and music and the cross
Mhm.
sections. We would always build a Spotify playlist to match each beverage, which was a fun experience. Every beverage kind of reminds you of different things. So this, if I just had a song that I would pick for Gia, it would be
Ooh.
"Girl from Ipanema." That's the song that I would
Ooh. I'm looking at my Spotify because this is so fun, and I'm going to pick a song, and I know exactly who. Let's say "Baby" by Devendra Banhart. Well, that was a great first episode. This was
yeah.
awesome. I think next time we're going to be talking about Phony Negroni. Is that right?
Yeah. So we'll talk about Phony Negroni. And if you have ideas for brands that you want to see us talk about, please email us or LinkedIn us.
Yep.
And we would love to bring your brand through the NA Dossier experience.